Happy Wednesday. How are you? I love you. It's hump day, and we humping it right along, right? Well, today is Wednesday. The planet in line with Wednesday is the planet Mercury. Mercury is all about communication. And so, right now, I'm setting the intention that the messages that are meant to come out, that they be said with clarity, and that all who are meant to hear it, and are open to what needs to be said. Knowing that this message will be delivered with love, leading in love and compassion, uh, for the highest good of all involved. So, again, communication, right? I'm going to start off with an incident that happened maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. An apprentice cut his finger on a bandsaw. What happened was the journeyman and their apprentice were set up in an area where other trades were working. I believe this trade in particular were testing out gear and other things. And so the apprentice and journeyman were very keen on, not making too much noise. But like I said, they were cutting pipe. They were using the bandsaw, so they were cutting pipe. They were cutting rod, stuff like that. And when after cutting, or as the pipe is being cut, the and it's about to hit the ground, the apprentice jumps to it and grabs the pipe in an effort to keep the environment quiet for those who are testing or testing equipment. In doing so, when he went down to catch it, he came back up and sliced his finger on the bandsaw. And that happened like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I got something from that today. Sometimes we really need to pay 100% attention to what's going on directly in front of us. Because sometimes what we are handling is potentially dangerous, or it needs a certain level of attention so that we are very intentional in what we're doing. If our attention is split for whatever reason, there could come from that a disaster, like the apprentice cutting his finger, And so even though what's going on in our immediate environment, external environment with things and people, and we are to be aware of them too, sometimes we have to really look at what's going on and see what's more important. Operating machinery, where you could potentially hurt yourself or someone else, you need 100% attention and focus on what it is you're doing. Not to say fuck what's happening around you, but in that moment, you need all of your attention focused on what exactly you're doing. So what does that mean energetically speaking? What does that mean spiritually? What does that mean? It means, depending upon the season that you're in, for example, it's autumn or fall. That's the season that we're in. Things are, for me, because I'm going to use myself an example, that's the best thing that I can do because I'm actually living it. Things look like they're falling apart. And as I'm transitioning out of the previous season and transitioning into this newer season of my life, my attention and focus is really, really, really important because I am establishing myself as a sovereign being. I'm establishing or reestablishing and readjusting my perception of things. I am more aware that I need to focus on me. But if I am distracted by external things, whether it be things, places, or people, and me rebuilding my foundation, I may miss something. There may be gaps in my foundation. There may be other people's energy in my foundation. There may be an energy that I don't want going into my foundation. If I'm doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this, I'm not really paying attention to what my hands are doing because I'm concerned about the external environment, the places, things, and people around me. They take more, I put them in a higher priority than myself. And in doing so, I can transfer their energy, whether it's people, places, or things, into my foundation because I'm focused on something when I really need 100% of my attention. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I need 100% of my attention on what I'm doing because I'm reestablishing myself. I'm rearranging some thoughts and beliefs. And I'm exchanging old ways of seeing things and old way of doing things with the newness of a knowing that things aren't what they were, and this is what it means to me now, so I can move on and transition smoothly into what's coming to me, into this newer season. 100% focus, or I could potentially fuck something up for me. I don't want to do that. I don't want y'all to do that. We have more control over the reality that we're creating than we believe. If I'm looking at this over here and not focus on what's in front of me, I could potentially attract more of something that could fuck me up. I create my own reality where attention goes and where energy flows, or where attention goes, energy flows. What you pay attention to, you draw to yourself. 100% focus. I don't need Jesus to take the wheel. Jesus gave me the keys. So because I got the keys, and matter of fact, since I know I've always had the keys, I'm just going to drive this thing. I'm going to drive this to the best of my ability, but I'm going to set myself up for success by paying attention 100% to what's happening or what I got going on in front of me. It's important, right? It's important. Now hold that thought. Communication. Bringing it back around to communication. We are in constant contact with all there is. 24/7, 365, plus all the other increments of time that we've created. We are in constant communication with everything. And everything is in constant communication with us. Let's take the trees, for example. We're in a season of fall. Again, we're in fall. So we're expecting the leaves to start changing color, right? And falling, because that is a sign of the times. It is a sign of the season that we're in, right? But we believe that the trees are responding to the temperature, the weather outside, and that's how they know it's fall? Or did they already know that fall was coming prior to any temperature change or any change in weather? They knew it was coming. How? How did they know? Trees are in constant contact with each other. Trees are in constant contact with the sun and the moon. Trees are in constant contact with the planets. Before anything physical happens, they already know. Before any leaves start falling, they already know. They already know what's coming. So it's no surprise when they get there that they start, their leaves start falling. They already know. It's a knowing. They already know. They already know what to do. We are in constant contact with all there is. We are constantly communicating with all there is, all that is. So when we are intentional about the reality that we're creating, when we are intentional about what we say to ourselves in our minds to ourselves, when we are intentional about what we say to other people, when we are intentional about what we do, not only are we intentionally creating our reality, we are intentionally sending out message to the divine, to God, to the universe, to our spirit team, saying, this is what I want. This is what I want. I want this right here. This is what I want. This is what I want. Whereas when you're an unintentional creator, you're not aware that you're communicating. You're still communicating though, but you're not aware that you're communicating. You may believe that life just happens to you. You may believe that you're a victim in some way, on some level. You are not aware that what you say to yourself is why, or what you think about yourself or how you perceive things is what attracts things to you. You're not aware of it. If the trees are in constant communication with each other and all that is, and aware, how am I any different? So at all times, I'm in communication. At all times, I'm creating my reality. At all times, am I manifesting the things that I truly want? At all times, am I seeking the higher ground? Am I reaching towards expansion and ascension? Am I searching for what's true for me? That's a constant thing. Yes. It's a constant thing. It doesn't stop. It doesn't turn off. If the universe decides, if God decides to stop communicating, all shit would break loose. Like, it would just Can you imagine that? Can you imagine it if everything up, like, just stops? What happens? So if communication is important to God, to your universe, to your higher self, to your oversoul, to your spirit team, to all that is, isn't it important to me? Shouldn't it be important to me? Yes. So shouldn't I examine exactly what I'm asking for? Yes. Should I make sure that I'm in alignment with the things that I'm asking for? Yes. Should I be aware of my thoughts aligning with the things that I don't want? Yes. So I should watch what I say and be mindful of the inner talk. Yes. Because where energy flows, where attention goes, energy flows. So if this is the season where I'm supposed to be focused 100% on me because of what I am rebuilding, but my focus is on something external, and I'm worried about or trying to appease the external, what am I attracting then? Won't I miss something? Like, I'm a doctor here. I'm energetically realigning and aligning and all of that. I'm a fucking scientist. I need to be aware of what's going on. I need to be aware of what I'm doing, what I'm saying. I need to be aware. This is my foundation. You understand? The moment that I start being distracted by external things, I allow chaos to come in. And chaos ain't all bad. It's really not bad. It's not bad. If everything stops up there working or wherever, and it will be utter chaos. Utter chaos. But what is chaos? Chaos is the searching for balance. When shit looks like it's falling apart, it looks like it's chaos. It looks like things are out of place and out of your control. Like, it looks like that, but really chaos is when everything is seeking balance, when everything is seeking alignment. Chaos is the search for balance. When we are in balance and we allow chaos to come in, I am of the knowing that chaos is here to make things right. It's here to put things in certain places. And if you can imagine things falling down slowly and you're just standing there and it's falling down, everything around you is falling apart. Now imagine seeing that and you see something that you didn't know was there. Like, oh shit, I didn't know that was there. Let me grab that. Let me grab that. That shouldn't be here. How did you get here? And then you do what you need to do to let it go. Like, this isn't me. This is just a trigger because of what this event that I experienced, but I don't have to be that way. That's not really me. That's not really who I am. You let it go. And you'll find that you're picking stuff as things are falling apart. You're like grasping at the shit that you realize you don't even need. Like, oh, fuck. All right. Then everything starts falling into place. My truth is that I want the truth at no matter the cost. If I'm going to be real with myself, I want to be in a constant state of balance. So if there's anything within me that is imbalanced, point it out. Because if there's an imbalance present, that means I'm not truly being myself. I'm not truly operating at my fullest potential. I'm not truly living up to who I truly am. Like, if there's an imbalance, you better fucking play Scooby-Doo and Blue's Clues with yourself and figure that shit out. Figure it out. Figure it out. You're worth it. I'm worth it. Because I'm always seeking truth, truth always finds me. I don't have time to be focused on external shit because I'm doing the work and it's delicate and it needs my surgeon's hands in the mix. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing and stay focused on what I'm doing because everything outside of me is saying something different. Everybody around me may not be on the same shit that I'm on, and that's perfectly fine. This is my life. This is my journey. I'm in control. I'm in control of this shit. Even when it doesn't feel like it. Even when it doesn't look like it. I am needed 100% in reestablishing my foundation and continually setting myself up for success. I cannot let the external environment, places, people, and things keep me from being focused on me. I'm the surgeon. I'm the captain. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. But there is an awareness that when I am not focused on what's in front of me, that I can just let shit come in and be a part of my foundation, which will later give me some sort of trouble or imbalance down the line. And that's really, lessons are going to come up. Every lesson is timed. Every lesson has a placement. So there are already lessons in place that I'm meant to learn. But there are also little mini side missions that that I choose to go into because at some point in the time, I chose to do something that would keep me in imbalance, even when I wasn't aware that that's what I was doing. Pay attention to what you're doing. What are we focused on? We are constantly communicating and sending out messages saying what we don't and what we don't want, what we do and what we don't want. All the time, even when we sleep, even when we're at rest, we're constantly sending signals out. We are constantly communicating, intentional or unintentional. It just would be really better for us if we are more intentional about what we're doing and be more intentional about what we want. You understand? Communication. There was I learned in school that successful communication is not only when the message is received, but when it's understood. Like, I could say something to you, but it doesn't mean that you understand it. Because me telling you something doesn't necessarily mean that you can take what I just said and it doesn't mean that you could just take what I said and just, go do it. You may not understand. You may not understand what I'm saying. You may not get a mental picture of how that's going to work. But successful communication is when the message goes out, the receiver receives the message and understands it to the point where they're able to step away from the person that sent the message and put to practice what it is they said. That's successful communication. How many of us are walking around here not really understanding shit, but we going through the motions? We're expecting great things to happen, but we don't understand. There's a lapse in communication somewhere. You know what I'm saying? There's a lapse in communication. It's not successful. It's not. But when we are intentional about what it is that we're doing, we will seek that understanding. We won't walk away until we understand. We want to make sure that not only did the message go out, that not only did I understand it, but now I know what to do, and I can make the adjustments necessary to do what I need to do. I can make a more informed decision because I understand. Because I understand. I can make a more informed decision now. Because before I didn't understand. But now that I do, I can make the choices that are better for me. I can be so much more intentional about what I'm doing because I understand. And I make the certain movements and adjustments necessary. That's when you communicate. That's when communication is successful. Pay attention to what you do. Pay attention to what you're doing. You're a surgeon, after all. You're a scientist, after all. You're an alchemist, after all. You're a creator, after all. You're powerful, after all. You have more control, after all. You have more control than you think you do, after all. Life isn't really just happening to you, after all. What signals are you sending out? Are we even aware of that? Are we so caught up in our environment that we're just going with the flow because either you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or you feel like it's just not the right time. Now it's not the right time for me to say this because you're having a good day and I don't want to mess up your good day, or you're having a not so good day and I don't want to pile it on. Fuck that. Fuck that. You need to tell me. Tell me. For those who are into your natal charts and things like that, it's Libra season. I'm about to be 41 in less than 30 days. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, but I don't feel bad. But, that makes me a Libra, right? My sun sign is in Libra. But also, if you look at my chart, Mercury is in Libra. So communication is my shit. And one of the things that I dislike is being misunderstood. I don't like being misunderstood. So I'll just say whatever I need to say so you can understand me better. Sometimes I need to improve on how I'm communicating or relaying my needs. But over time, I've gotten really, really good. And that's probably why they be thinking Libras are so blunt because, fuck the bullshit. I need you to understand where I'm coming from. I need you to see me where I am. So let me communicate this to you to relay that message. And when there's a lack of communication, we don't function well. At least I don't. I don't function well. I don't. Because my mind starts doing this and try to, I'm guessing and assuming. And I shouldn't have to do that. Fuck that. Tell me. Tell me. Relay the information so I can receive the message and then move accordingly. Communication. Communication. We are in constant contact with the divine. We are in constant contact with God. Saying what we want and what we don't want. It would be very irresponsible of me and lazy of me to not be aware that I'm creating my reality. I can't blame anybody for shit, because really ain't nobody do shit to me that I didn't already know about. So there really aren't any bad guys. There are no enemies. I have no enemies. There's only me. There's only me. I agreed to this shit. I chose to be here. There are no enemies. There's only me. There's only me. There's only me. It's me. It's me. For me, it's nothing to be upset about. When shit don't go my way or the way that I thought it was going to go, I adjust. I do my best not to be upset, because that is, to me, that's just another attachment. That just means I'm triggered by something. Like, I'm cool. I'm good. But now I know what's being communicated based upon actions or non-actions. And then now I can adjust. Because we're in constant contact and I'm getting exactly what I asked for, depending on where my attention is going. Once I get that thing that I've asked for, whether I wanted it or not, I adjust. Be thankful for chaos. Chaos is whatever it is that's falling apart. It's seeking balance. Chaos is the search for balance. Be mindful of what you're doing. Be mindful that sometimes things require 100% of our attention and focus because of the season that we're in. So we can't really, we could afford to be distracted, but do you really want to be? Do you? Do you? Do you? No. Because I want what I want. I want what I want. And there's nothing to say that I can't have it. I might have to wait a little bit longer, but I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to get what I want. I always do. Always do. Call me confident, call me cocky. I don't give a fuck. I want what I want, and what I want is coming to me. I'll just be patient and wait. But I'm going to keep focused on what I got going on. Because as a surgeon, I got to make sure that I'm not fucking cutting fucking arteries and shit. I got to make sure that I'm not putting my liver where my spleen's supposed to be. You feel me? Mercury. It's Wednesday. It's communication. For those of you who have ears that are open to receive this message, may it return to you. May you find it useful. May it resonate to you and with you, so that you can use this information and apply it to your life in whatever way you find it necessary. We are in this together, though we are on our individual journeys. We are in this together. And I know that what I do affects all of us. So I'm really, really adamant about doing what the fuck I came here to do. It's for the good of all involved. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. Communication. I love you. Continue having an amazing day, and I will see you next time.